This is James Lupton for Slothbox, sponsored by Excelsior Sporting Club, and I'm joined with Kevin Agyarko. Kevin, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, James. All good. Just back to camp there about a week and a half ago. So yeah, buzzing to be back.
That's it. But back in Liverpool, back in the gym, Rotunda. How's the first week and a half been?
Tough. It's been tough. Yeah. No, training's been good. I'm buzzing to be back. Buzzing to be amongst the lads and ladies in the gym, and yeah, just waiting on a date.
You mentioned amongst the lads and ladies in the gym, there are a few new additions since you was last in camp. Good friend of yours, Gary Cully, and Shannon Courtney has also joined Rotunda. Let's talk about the new additions and what that does for the gym as well, these new faces coming in.
Yeah, I mean it's great to have Gary and Shannon as part of the team. I mean, obviously me and Gary box all around the world together on the amateur scene, and everyone knows how good Gary is. Obviously, he was unfortunate in his last fight, but um, Gary's a great lad, a great talent, and he works extremely hard. So he's great to have in the gym, and as well as Shanna as well. Do you know what I mean? She's a former world champion, so it's great to have them in the gym, and I think it just shows how good Deck and Joe are because everyone wants to work with them. Do you know what I mean? You look at the gym now; it's full with fighters and talented fighters. So it's a credit to them.
That's it. They say it's full of talent. They always say success breeds success. Do you feel that in Rotunda?
Oh, without doubt. Listen, you've former world champions, two, three fighters that have been at the top for a very long time. I know Callum Smith doesn't box out of Rotunda, but he trains there. You got Liam, you got Josh Kelly, or Josh Taylor, sorry, Josh Kelly, Josh Taylor. You got JJ Metcalf. Do you know what I mean? All world class fighters, and you've got the younger crop coming up. Me, Frankie, Aston. Now obviously Gary, Shannon. So yeah, it's a unbelievable gym, and success breeds success. So it's great to be a part of it.
You mentioned a moment ago about Gary, and it was unfortunate his last fight where he did lose it. Same with Josh Taylor, he lost his last fight as well. Does that bring morale down in the gym, or do you see these guys come back with a newfound hunger?
Obviously it's two different situations, two different scenarios. Gary wasn't with the gym when he lost, and knowing Gary, knowing the person he is, he's definitely come back with a hunger, a point to prove. Do you know what I mean? He was knocking everybody out and same with Matchroom, and obviously he's had a bit of a stumble, but Gary's a great talent. He works extremely hard. I've no doubt that he'll be a world champion or he'll achieve what he wants to achieve in the sport. I think he's joining Deck and Joe now. He's just going to improve so much more. With someone like Josh, listen, he's been there, done it. Obviously, he was out of the ring for a very long time. He fought a world class fighter in Teofimo. But I'd like to see Josh go up in weight. But I think he'll be hungrier to capture two weights now and become a two-weight world champion um and get back to winning ways. Both of them will be.
Somebody else in the gym who got a big win last time out, he's back in camp again. Liam Smith rematching Chris Eubank Jr. A huge win, and it was nobody really expected the stoppage. A lot of people expected him to beat Chris, but on points. For you guys in the gym, did you was it something that you guys had worked on in there? Is it something that you'd seen or expected coming, or did you again expect it to go the long haul in a distance?
I think everybody expected kind of maybe to get him out there late or go the distance. Personally, I thought he would have went the distance just because everyone knows Eubank's got a good chin and he's been in the likes of Groves who can punch. You know what I mean? And he's never really had a dent in his. He's never been down before. So, um, but listen, Liam's a different type of fighter, and his pressure's relentless. His shot selection's unbelievable. So I don't know if he would have thought he would have got him out of there, but he was prepared for 12 rounds, and as he is this time, and I think he'll do the exact same.
For yourself, I'm not going to say you're a prospect, you're past the prospect level now, but for you to work alongside and see Liam Smith train, who, as you mentioned earlier, has been there, done it, former world champion, he's been in with the best in the sport, never mind at his weights. What's that like for you to learn from somebody and to watch somebody like Liam Smith in the gym?
It's unreal. Do you know what I mean? Just to like what he was sparring today, and do you know what I mean? I'm looking at the fine details of things, thinking what does he do that has him at that level? Do you know what I mean? And to learn off someone like him, Callum, Josh, it's unbelievable. Even JJ, people who's been at the top and fighting elite fighters, and um, it's unreal to be in there and learning off them, getting tips off them, asking for their advice. You know what I mean? So I'm like a sponge. I want to be people to be critical of me. I want people to tell me what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, what can I add to my game. So to be in amongst fighters that have been there, done it at world level, won multiple world titles. You know what I mean? You've got a unified world champion, a undisputed world champion, and obviously a world champion in name in the gym. So it's class to be amongst them.
Absolutely. And there's a few different options for yourself for your next fight date. You mentioned obviously back into camp. We spoke before. We're not sure on a fight date. To my knowledge, you may tell me different now. But there's a few different options. You've got obviously the card back in Ireland, Katie Taylor, Chantel Cameron rematch. There's also the Jack Catwell Linares card in Liverpool, October 21st, which is a bit sooner than the Katie Taylor fight. There's a few options for you there. But in terms of potential opponents, there's been a bit of back and forth on social media. Again, for the second or third time now with Troy Williamson. Is that a fight that you would like?
Yeah, well, like Troy, sick and tired of Troy on social media making it out just to be as if I've turned down the fight. Do you know what? I'll tell you exactly where he's got this from. Me being out for 10 months, sorry, 11 months. I've had one fight in a year and a couple of months now. Um, I wasn't happy with my last performance, even though I won 190. I won every single round. I wasn't happy. I had a 6 week camp. Um, Still had a hand problems throughout that camp, so I didn't really have great preparations, and I wasn't happy with my performance. So I said I'd like another fight, and then I'll fight Troy. Same way that he had a warm up fight there to fight me. Do you know what I mean? So, and that's what it was. I'd asked for one more fight before fighting Troy, and he's got this narrative that I turned the fight down with him. So I don't know. I then accepted the fight without taking another fight, and I don't know what's happened. Now it's all up in the air, kind of. Um, can't go into things too much, but yeah, listen, I'd love to be on the Liverpool show. I've got to be a part of this city now. It'd be unreal to fight back here again, and be unbelievable to fight in Dublin on the Katie Taylor on the cards. And I mean, it's always a pleasure to fight her on the cards, and it's always great to fight back home. But yeah, Troy Williamson, he's a donut, man. Do you know what? Because I got on all right with Troy, and then he started calling me out. And listen, I understand it's boxing. Closed mouths don't get fed, and it's business. It's boxing. It is what it is. But when you start to come on and disrespect me and stuff like that, it'll make it harder to get a fight with me. That won't make it easier to get a fight with me. It'll make it harder. And I know that Troy needs to fight more than I do. He's coming off a loss with Josh, and he's been dropped by Mason Cartwright and whatever else, and he's starting to decline. I think he's too many hard rounds, maybe whether it's spawn or fights. You know what I mean? Had an all out war with Cheeseman, and then he got schooled by Josh. He's been dropped by Mason, so he's on a bit of a decline. And I understand that he probably realizes he's not maybe at that level. He's struggling to make 154, and he's them big fights. He's not. I don't think he's with a promoter either. So yeah, it's one where I understand from him. He needs to start talking. He needs to start calling people out, and I understand that. But once you start doing it disrespectfully, it rubs me out the wrong way, and I'll make it difficult for you to get that fight with me. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't need to give you the payday. I don't need to give you that opportunity. You should be grateful. You know what I mean? So yeah, maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. I would love that fight. It's a great fight for me. It's one that I believe I'll win. I believe I'll knock Troy Williamson out. He's too open, too exposed. He'd walk straight into my shots, and yeah, we can maybe get it on down the line.
You mentioned at the start that you enjoy to get on, and again, like you say, it's business ultimately at the end of the day. Have you ever had any meetings with Troy in person? You mentioned the Cheeseman fight. Was you on that undercard as well?
No, I wasn't on that long.
Everyone. No, that's as well. Have you ever seen Troy in person? Has there ever been any sort of animosity between the two of you, or have you ever thought you may meet down the line?
I've always knew that we've been in similar weight, so, and especially once I moved down to 154, that I knew that we'd definitely meet down the line. But I'm not too sure. I think I might have met Troy at one or two shows. Not too sure. But in terms of, we were friendly enough on social media, but under my post, I'd write under his. I used to tag him, and he brought it up on socials the other day that I used to tag him on Costa coffee videos that I used to put up, calling me a fanboy. Like, fucking get over yourself. Like, you're nobody. Do you know what I mean? So, I was friendly enough with him. I like Troy. Still don't have a problem with him, but once you start to disrespect me, then it comes an issue. So yeah, listen, I always knew that we'd potentially fight. He's same weight as me. I understand this is just business. I'm not butthurt about any of it. Don't care about any of it. I don't lose sleep over Troy Williamson. It's just a bit. I see him every day on social media begging for the fight, or like his fans. He must be onto them every day. I wake up every day with a message from one of his fans, which I respect because they're consistent. But yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. It's boxing, isn't it, James?
I mean, is that a fight you would like next? Is that, let's say if you do get on the October card or November card, would you like Troy next, or do you still want one more beforehand, or is it a case of he's just rubbing it the wrong way where you might turn around and go, do you know what, I'm not going to give you your payday on what you want?
Do you know what? Like I said at the start, initially I wanted one more fight because this is my career. Let's not forget this. Before promoters, managers, trainers, anyone else, this is my career. So if I don't feel like I'm ready because of performance beforehand, or because issues in camp, haven't had enough time with Joe and Deck to really gel and learn from them. I've only had a 6-week camp for that last fight. The first camp we had, I got injured and I had to pull out of it. Then I was away for 8 months. I wasn't in camp because I got surgery. So I haven't had time to gel with Joe and Deck. But first and foremost, this is my career. I've got to do what's right by me. And I will I'll not let anybody rush my process. So I feel like I beat Troy Williamson. If I can't beat Troy Williamson, I should stop boxing now. Like, that's no disrespect to Troy, but I've set my goals higher than that. Do you know what I mean? I feel like Troy's just a mediocre fighter. Do you know what I mean? But if it was Troy next, I don't care. If I sit down with my team and we plan it out and see what we want to go down. Troy never appealed to me because he doesn't offer nothing to the table other than a decent name under my record. Said I wasn't going down the domestic route. I was going down the European route, and for me, I want a European title within the next 3-4 fights, and then go on to the World Honours. If it was for something meaningful, without doubt, no problem at all. But what does Troy offer me other than a name on my record? Do you know what I mean? But like I said, it's my career, so I've got to do what's best by me, and I won't have my process rushed. But yeah, I would definitely welcome the fight with Troy, or whoever it is. I don't care. I've been doing this since I was 7 years old. I'm a fighter. I'll fight anybody. As long as the right money's on the table, as long as it's the right venues. Troy's got to remember that I'm the A side. He's not. He's the B side. You know what I mean? And but yeah, if it's for the right money and venue and whatever else, and why not? I want to be in exciting fights. That fight against Troy is an exciting fight. He hits hard, I hit hard, and our styles would definitely gel. Do you know what I mean? So it's a fan friendly fight and one that I would definitely welcome. But I don't take my limit too much.
And just finally, Kevin, a little prediction from you. You was always compared to Canelo Alvarez. He's got another big fight coming up against Charlo. How do you see that fight going? There's a bit of a shock to a lot of fans who didn't realise Charlo was a lot taller than Canelo.
Yeah, Charlo's actually the bigger fighter. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people didn't realize that because he probably boiled himself down to make light or light middle, 154. But I think Canelo should beat Charlo, and if it's, I've always, a lot of people have been saying that Canelo hasn't looked great in his last couple of fights and this, that, and the other, and he's on a decline. And I think this fight will really tell that if he is on a decline. I've always said that when you're fighting at elite level for so long, there is fine margins. You're not going to perform 100% every single time. You're not going to look spectacular every single time. But but first and foremost, what he's doing is winning. That's all that matters. And I think if he does have another poor performance or he gets beat, then that'll solidify that he is on the decline now. But I think the Canelo Alvarez that everyone expects to turn up should be Charlo.
Fantastic. Well, Keith, I won't keep you no longer. Thank you very much for your time, as always. A pleasure.
Thanks, James.